And welcome back to Newsmax Now. Let's turn to our Max Life segment where we share stories to help you get the most out of your life. The Apple iWatch will be out in stores next month, but if you plan to buy one, keep it on your wrist. Check out this video. Business Insider reports it doesn't take much for smart thieves to make your watch, well, theirs. In fact, they can hook it up to their cell phone all in just under a minute. Unlike the iPhone, the iWatch doesn't have that built-in kill switch, so you can't just lock down the device and keep someone else from using it. Plus, the watch lacks a GPS signal, so if you lose it or if it's stolen, well, you won't be able to recover it. The money was supposed to go to help sick children, but the only sickening thing about this next story is what the Federal Trade Commission says really happened. The FTC just ruled these 4 cancer charities, all run by the same family, conned donors out of $187 million. That money was supposed to help children with cancer. Instead, the FTC says most of those donor dollars went to buy cars, college tuition, and gym memberships for the family leading those charities. A Texas teen is raising the bar when it comes to pole vaulting. Charlotte Brown is blind. She counts her steps and uses a beeper to know where the mat is. That way she can plant her pole and spring over that bar, as you just can see right here. Look at her go. It's a system that's taken the 17-year-old athlete to new heights, considering she just won the bronze medal in the Texas State High School Track and Field Championship, and Charlotte plans to attend Purdue University on a scholarship this fall. Good for her. Planning a trip to Cozumel, you might want to check out this unique bar and the world's first underwater lounge. Check it out. Pretty cool. But you won't find margaritas here. Nope, sorry, John. Instead, the bar serves 70% oxygen infused with mint or citrus flavors, whichever you prefer. Patrons can also dance and play games in the 13,000-gallon tank. If you had chickenpox as a child, you may be at risk of shingles as you age. A weakened immune system and stress can cause the shingles virus to activate, resulting in a bad rash and nerve irritation. Studies show that people who experience lots of stress are more prone to a shingles virus outbreak.
That's scary stuff there, and thinking about all the stress most Americans have in their lives.
Well,
that brings us to our next topic. We have Barbara Schmidt here with us today to discuss stress management techniques. Barbara is the author of The Practice, Simple Tools for Managing Stress, Finding Inner Peace, and Uncovering Happiness. Barbara, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Glad to be here.
Barbara, can you tell us a little bit about what it is you do?
Yes. You know, it's all about how can we find time in our day to be with ourselves. A minute here and a minute there. We are so externally driven. Everything that we do is contingent upon the external world. So my practice is about how can we start to come into ourselves for a minute and then come back out. So it's really about the breath. It's about how do we find that connection with ourselves where the confidence, the planning, the courage, all of that stuff lies. And so we can try to find that balance between the inside and the outside.
You know, I hear you say the word practice, and I think in a lot of families around the country, yoga is seemingly everywhere now. My
His wife loves it.
My sister-in-law, my mom, my own sister, they're all just obsessed with yoga. Is this part of kind of that same idea, internalizing into yourself and just taking time to breathe to relieve stress?
It is. It's part of that. So yoga is a practice that takes about an hour, hour and a half, depending on what you're doing. So that is part of the practice. But a major part of it is how do we find a minute here and a minute there? I teach, you know, the first thing we do when we wake up, we hit the ground running. So how are we going to be able to handle the stresses of the day? So I teach, spend a minute with yourself first, just noticing your breath. Letting the thoughts in the mind come and go, and just bring yourself back to the breath, just for a minute. And believe it or not, you can carry that minute throughout the day. So I'm feeling stressed, something's thrown me off. I take a pause and I can breathe for a minute and just to kind of bring myself back to center. There's amazing benefits of bringing myself in and then going back out. We don't give ourselves permission enough to just stop and breathe and then go again. So it's all part of that practice of coming in and out of ourselves.
And tell us a little bit about your organization. It's called Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life. Can you tell us what exactly your organization does?
Yes, so I've been practicing these techniques and this idea of how do we live our lives actually from the inside out and not be at the mercy of this craziness of the external world about 4 years ago, I founded this nonprofit, Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life. It's a community, it's a resource, it's a way of helping people how to connect with that inner source within. How do I start to really live my life this way? How can I get this beautiful rhythm going of living from the inside out? So it's a resource, and we fund projects, speakers, people that are out there trying to help us find this inner peace, which ultimately the mission of Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life is helping the world find outer peace. But we do that one person at a time, finding our own sense of balance and connectedness. So it's become a real massive, actually it's a movement.
Oh, that's great. We need that.
Helping this universe.
Lord knows we all can
we
use
do.
a little bit more peace and a little bit more consciousness in our own lives, even if it is just for 1 minute at a time. Barb, we had some video up there of you at a TED Talk down in Boca Raton, Florida. Any more TED Talks coming up?
This one was so fantastic. No, this was so great to try to find a way to put everything in 13 minutes.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're out of time as well, Barb. We want to thank you very much for your presence here today on Newsmax.
It helped us relax.